Guys, we finally did it. We got a show. If you have been following me, you have known that this is what I've wanted to do. And it's going to be a learning experience, and we're just going to have so much fun. And a year from now, we're going to look back at our first episode together, and we're going to laugh, and we're going to have so many new friends, and it's going to be great. So thank you for being here on the journey with me. This is DayeTime, and I'm your host, Avery Daye. All right, we are starting with Tuesday, May 19th, 2026, was a major primary day for the midterms. Voters in 6 states held primaries: Alabama, Georgia, Idaho, Kentucky, Oregon, and Pennsylvania. And they covered Senate, House, gubernatorial, and other statewide and local races. The big thing that everyone's talking about is Thomas Massey lost. Tuesday's primaries told the country that MAGA is, in fact, alive and well. Trump-backed candidates won. All of them. All the candidates that Trump-backed won. All 37 of them. We had 10 in Pennsylvania, 9 in Georgia, 6 in Alabama, 6 in Kentucky, 5 in Idaho, and 1 in Oregon. And most notable of them would be Ed Gallagher's win in Kentucky, 4th District, where he defeated Thomas Massey. And if you've been paying attention, you know that Massey has been very outspoken against President Trump. President Trump actually called him the worst congressman in the history of our country.
I hope you're going to put him out of business tomorrow. I'm in the Oval Office, and we're in a fight against the worst congressman in the history of our country. His name is Thomas Massey. He's from Kentucky. I hope you're going to put him out of business tomorrow. He is so bad. Got an election coming up. He's running against a great guy, a great patriot, Ed Gallagher. He's fantastic. But forget that. Massey's the worst congressman in the history of our country, always voting against Republicans and good values. So get rid of Thomas Massey.
Well, get rid of Thomas Massey. They did. Why? Massey's opposed the One Big Beautiful Bill. He was one of 2 Republicans to vote against it. He voted against U.S. military action in Iran and the Caribbean. To Thomas Massey, the Epstein files are the most important thing ever in the history of ever, and the government can't function or do anything else but obsess over the Epstein files. He's fallen into the anti-Israel, everything's a conspiracy camp, and everything's Israel's fault, and the Jews, which honestly, I'm so bored of. I'm so bored of this group of black-pilled alt-right people who think that they are awake. They're not these elevated thinkers that they think they are. They've just fallen into this mindset of us versus them, anti-establishment, anti-government, which they clearly haven't thought all the way through, because that road doesn't lead anywhere good. And they never come with real scalable solutions that you can implement into the real world. They're contrarians for the sake of it. They get so deep into these conspiracies that they have to make sense of it all and connect everything. And it's always, all roads lead back to Israel. It's a form of victimhood. I'm so glad that Thomas Massey lost. It was the most expensive U.S. House primary in history, with somewhere around $32 to $35 million spent. 14 to 19 million was spent supporting Ed Gallagher, and somewhere between 10 to 11 million was spent to support Massey. There were a lot of eyes on this because online there seems to be such a power struggle in the Republican Party. Who's going to win? Is it going to be the Tuckers, the Candaces, the Fuentes, even Megyn Kelly now? Is it going to be that camp that frames normal people who just don't want to be isolationists as these crazy Israel first neocons that have hijacked the conservative party? Or is it going to be common sense MAGA, which is Trump's base? And what we saw as a result of these midterms primaries was that the influencers and podcasters don't have the influence to sway elections. People see the crazy, and people supported and voted for Trump-backed candidates. Trump is still the leader of the Republican Party. Some of the most viral things people are saying about this on X ironically, is Vivek, who is hated on X, won. Massey, who is loved on X, lost. Politics on X is just not reality. And then this guy, Jeremy, responds to himself and says, also worth noting that Vivek learned X politics aren't real and left. Massey swam in the waters of X, and it probably made him worse. This guy writes, I like Massey a lot on net, even today, but less so in the most recent version. Let's look at Massey's concession speech to understand a little bit of what we're talking about.
I would have come out sooner, but I had to call my opponent and concede, and it took a while to find Ed Galrine in Tel Aviv.
Ew, it's tasteless. It's anti-Semitic. I don't even like that word.
I did get the call through, though. I have called and conceded the race. We've been honorable the whole time. And
I just think that's gross. Like, I don't know. I get it was meant to be a joke, but at what point? Like, it's just not always about the Jews. I'm tired of blaming the Jews. It's unoriginal. We've done this before. It's never ended well. I want to play a clip from J.D. Vance in October of 2025 that I think nails it and is the reason he lost, not the Jews.
I think the problem with Thomas, and I've told him this in private, and now I guess I'll say it in public, is it's one thing to disagree with the party on a particular issue. It's one thing to to have your independent stand on a number of questions. And by the way, some of the stuff where Thomas Massey has been independent against the Republican Party, I've agreed with him with. Thomas and I worked together during 2023, where I was trying to stop the limitless flow of American money to Ukraine, and Thomas was one of the people I was working closest with it. But that's one thing. Being independent, having your own opinions is one thing. Voting against the party on every single issue, you're eventually going to make too many enemies. And that is the problem that Thomas has had. It's not one issue. It's not 3 or 4 issues. It's that every time that we've needed Thomas for a vote, he has been completely unwilling to provide it. That is why the President of the United States has trained his ire on Thomas Massey. It's because we can never count on him for some of the most difficult votes. I wish that weren't the case. I say that as somebody who's known Thomas well before I got into politics, but politics is politics, and when you always vote against the party, you can't expect the party to actually back you.
Right, because who's he representing then? He was elected by Republicans to represent the Republican Party. They're not going to support someone who's working against Trump's agenda. They voted for Trump, and Thomas Massey is standing in the way of Trump's agenda. He wasn't doing the noble thing. He was being destructive. You can't be a part of the Republican Party and then work against the Republican Party. It's kind of the same thing we saw with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know she resigned, but it felt like she was more about appearances than her job. All she did was complain and talk about what Trump is doing that's so awful without bringing any long-term solutions to the actual problems. It is really easy to say, no new wars. Okay, well, let's work out this little problem here. If there's even a 5% chance Iran got a nuclear weapon, would you be okay with taking that chance? No, of course not. No sane person would. So what is your solution? They never have one. It's just complaining. We have Alex Jones, who writes that the election results are historic foreign interference by Israel. Just obviously blaming Israel. Watch this.
No, it is all about Israel. Netanyahu has a 50% approval rating. Netanyahu's been convicted. He needs this war to continue. It isn't even Israel that is completely behind this. It is criminal, special interests, the weapons makers, military-industrial complex that another traitor, another Qatari agent, President Eisenhower warned us about in his farewell address in 1961. The truth was he wasn't a Qatari agent, and I'm not either. I'm an agent of America and the Republic, and the reign of truth's coming down. You strike down Obi-Wan Kenobi, he becomes more powerful than you could possibly imagine. And this rain feels so good. I'm just singing in the rain. Just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm happy again. Da, 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 da. So that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not putting a good face on this. It is a good face. Israel has uncloaked itself. The special interests have uncloaked themselves. The Klingons had uncloaked the fire.
I can't watch anymore. I'm sorry. That's crazy. I feel like I'm watching someone going through a psychotic break. He's in the range. Oh. No. I just think maybe you're a lunatic and you're just the loudest and narcissistic and sane people are watching this video thinking you're a nut job because you look like a nut job. And again, let's work through this problem. Imagine you're the sitting president of the United States, the leader of the free world, and you receive credible reason to believe that Iran is building nuclear weapons. What do? Do you just say, F it? F it. Let's see if they get there. Let's just hope for the best. No, of course not. Of course you don't do that. That would be diabolical. And then we have the people that say that there's no credible threat. They've been saying that for years. Okay, then why is the regime enriching uranium past the single digits? There's only one reason for that, and that would be developing nuclear weapons. Again, let's work through this problem. If there's a chance that Iran's proxy groups like Hezbollah, say, I don't know, started expanding into the Western Hemisphere, which is exactly what they were doing, would you want to take that chance and allow for terrorism to grow close to home? No, of course not. A sane person would support military action because they understand that it's in defense of our country. These alt-right people, they operate in this really, really weird, delusional world that is very removed from reality. America first does not mean becoming isolationists. That would make us vulnerable. And I do think that most people understand that. I think most Americans understand that. The younger generation of men worry me, but that's a topic for another time. Basically, what you need to know about the candidates from the election last night was that sanity won and conspiracy nut jobs lost. That's the state of the GOP right now. The same cannot be said for the Democrats' candidates. I don't want to laugh because it's so crazy, but just we have to compare. Graham Plattner, he is a Maine Democratic Senate candidate. He got a literal SS tattoo. He said he got it when he was drunk with fellow Marines and didn't know the meaning at the time and blah, blah, blah. Great. So he either hates the Jews or he's retarded and got a tattoo that he didn't know the meaning of. Yeah, BS. The Dems defend him and say he was young and he made a mistake. Yeah, okay. He kept it for almost 2 decades and only covered it up when it became public knowledge. So I don't know if I had an SS tattoo on me or Nazi tattoo on me, I would get that removed the second I found out. So in case that wasn't enough, though, he also used his Reddit account, P Hustle, to mock P Hustle, the name. No, this is serious. He used his Reddit account to mock a U.S. soldier who was shot 4 times in Afghanistan by the Taliban, saying, dumb mother didn't deserve to live. And he commented that in 2019. His brain was fully developed. He's gone on podcasts slandering the American sniper, Chris Kyle. He's publicly praised Hamas raids. He wrote on Reddit, why don't black people tip? He also responded to a post about underwear designed to prevent sexual assault, saying people should take some responsibility for themselves and not get so effed up they wind up having sex with someone they don't mean to. Yeah, because that's what rape is. Having sex with someone you just didn't mean to. What? Lunatic. Horrible guy. On a series of posts from 2021, Plattner also called himself a communist, said rural Americans are racist and stupid. He called cops bastards. He also said, and I quote, "Unfortunately, I still have to jerk off every time I sit in a porta shitter. That blue water smell conditioned me." What? I need to get myself together. When asked about it, he said he's a retired shitposter. Okay, that's crazy. That is so crazy. And then the Dems also have James Tallarico, who called God non-binary. He supports men and women's sports. He said radicalized white men are a top terrorist threat. He says that our solution to the southern border should be like our front porch. There should be a giant welcome mat out in front. It's literally a quote. He positions himself as a Christian fighting nationalism. Okay. I'm just going to say it. He seems confused. He seems confused about what he believes in, about who he is. And the weirdness continues in the Democrats, with Abdul El-Sayed. Just why is someone named Abdul El-Sayed running for Senate in Michigan? Okay. He's a leading contender in Michigan's Democratic primary for the open Senate seat. He's held rallies with Hassan Piker, who believes America deserved 9/11. His words, not mine. Hassan Piker's views are extremely, extremely radical, communist, psychotic. Everything that he believes in has never been proven to work. It's failed every time. It's actually gotten thousands, millions of people killed. Very dangerous. A leaked audio from a March 2026 campaign call after reports of Khamenei's death, Ayatollah, in the U.S.-Israel strikes, El-Sayed told staff he wouldn't comment publicly because there are a lot of people in Dearborn who are sad. Dearborn has a large Muslim and Arab population. He suggested on the call to pivot and attack Trump as the pedophile president with ties to Epstein, starting another war. He's not going to condemn, or he's not going to comment on the death of Khamenei because he doesn't want to upset the people of Dearborn. If that's not telling about the state of Dearborn and what these people believe that are in our country, I don't know what is. That's terrifying. He also calls himself a physician, but he actually never completed residency. He never got a medical license anywhere. And I just think that's weird. I think it's weird. I think he hates America. He hates the Jews. And this is who the Democrats like and back. Okay. Weird. Because we also have Maureen Galindo, a Democratic House or Texas House candidate. And she's a real joy because in a recent Instagram post, she stated that she would turn the ICE detention center into, and I quote, a prison for American Zionists and former ICE officers for human trafficking. She added it would also serve as a castration processing center for pedophiles, which will probably be most of the Zionists. Okay, so she just openly hates the Jews, and the Democrats are putting her forward. She accused her rival, Johnny Garcia, who is a sheriff deputy, of involvement in human trafficking conspiracy orchestrated by billionaire Zionist Jews. And claimed his campaign is funded by pro-Israel interests. It's like the horseshoe theory. The more extreme you get on each side, the more similar they become. And we're seeing the same stuff on the alt-right as we are on the alt-left, or I guess just mainstream Democrats, actually. That's what's so insane. I feel like MAGA's like down here. It's like, and then everyone else is over here. I feel crazy. It's crazy. I feel like everyone's losing their minds and I'm just watching like, can we reset? Stop the world. I want to get off. It's not just politically. There is a big culture war happening too, which we are watching play out with the casting of the Odyssey. Christopher Nolan has lost his damn mind. And it is such a shame because Interstellar is one of my favorite movies and he's so talented if he ditches woke. But he's not. He's not. He's leaning into it. There's rumors he's casting transgender Elliot Page for Achilles. Oh, yes, because when I look at this woman who cut off her boobs, I think of the greatest warrior of all time. Yes, for sure. Travis Scott is the storyteller, and Christopher Nolan defended this by noting it nods to oral poetry traditions being like rap. Yes. When I think of Greek poetry, I think of Black rap culture. I think of Homer, and I am immediately transcended into sicko mode. Yes, I can feel it. I'm the highest in the room. She filled my mind up with ideas. Straight up. I promise I'll never do that again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. We have Lupita. I'm going to butcher this. Nyong'o as Helen of Troy, who was described in Homer as white-armed or fair-skinned. So if you don't understand why this is such a big deal to people, the internet has dumbed it down for you. We have Rosa Parks as white. Okay? The story that changed America. The ride, I'm blind. The ride that changed America. If that's not offensive enough for you, we have Barack Obama cast as a white man. We have Muhammad Ali cast as a white man. We have Martin Luther King cast as a white man. Nelson Mandela. I mean, if you don't understand why this is offensive, you're dumb. Sorry, I don't make the rules. It's just the truth. If it were the other way around, if we portrayed MLK or Rosa Parks as white, wouldn't that be really disrespectful to the sacrifices Black people made for future generations? Wouldn't that be erasing their history? Of course it would be. Of course it would be. So why is it okay the other way around? The answer is it's not. It's not. It's not okay. That's what we have for you today. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for being here. See you next time.